Good evening. Welcome to the City of Northfield work session for November 29th, 2022. This meeting has been properly advertised according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, in the Press of Atlantic City on January 8th, 2022. May I have a flag salute led by Mayor Chow.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Roll call, Mrs. Bucci.
Here.
Mr. Deweese.
Here.
Mr. Leeds.
Here.
Mr. Notaro.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Utz.
Here.
Mr. Palestina.
Here.
Mayor Chow.
Here.
Thank you. Have a great crowd tonight. I'd like to turn the floor over to Mayor Chow.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Start with our presentation.
Lieutenant. Right center. Center exposure. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the police department for coming here for this very special night. And it'll be a bad night because, as most of you know, Lieutenant Dexter has retired, submitted his retirement papers. And let me just say this, in all the years that I have served on city council, Lieutenant Dexter is probably one of the most valuable individuals that we have had served within the department. He served as our IT person, our motorcycle guy, as an officer in charge of the department and members, the lieutenant himself. And I can't say how much we're going to miss you, especially when it comes to the IT program, because you were an unbelievable person in that respect there. So I wanted to present something to you, and I'm going to have the chief say something to you about your services, but let me just read this little award that, on behalf of City Council and myself, we would like to present. It's presented to Eric Denninger with sincere appreciation and gratitude for 24 years of dedicated service to the city of Northfield and its residents. And this is presented from the as a member of the Northfield Police Department from 1998 to 2022. Lieutenant, thank you so very much for your service, and as I said, we will surely miss you, but I wish you the best of your retirement. As I said to you as you walk in, you look better after retired, but certainly we're going to miss you. All right, Chief, would you like to say something? I'd like to go to retirement. Take 25 years. I've worked with you. You're an asset to the department. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Why don't you come in and present her? Come on up here. Some after all the years that you put up with it. And this is your wife. Well, Linda, nice meeting you. We're gonna have a little picture. Great. That's a great. Thank you so very much. Nice meeting you. All right. Take care and congratulations. Would you like to say something to me? When I got hired. Oh my God. Was it 98? Was it that? Yeah. Holy cow. That's probably the last time I wore a suit. How overlooked, right? Thanks. Congratulations.
Beach.
Yeah, you would like to have a few words?
Yours.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to say congratulations and thank Lieutenant Dettinger for all his years of service to Northfield, keeping us safe. Hopefully, you'll have a good time in your retirement. We'll move on now to the committee reports. Councilman DeWeese.
Here's my- just very quickly, is just about completed. Not quite there yet, so I'll bring that up at the next meeting once I get the final on it, but I think there's still parts of paper and still some things to be done. See you guys.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Tom, I stopped by the Birch Grove Park and I saw the playground looks wonderful, beautiful. And I already saw this afternoon, there were children already on it. So they're starting to get used already.
Caution tape didn't slow him down. Councilman Ox?
All's quiet on the planning board. I have nothing to report, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Notaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a resolution on tonight, 2022. I just would like to, commend George DeRosa, Deacon
15.
George,
15 years.
yeah, for 15 years. Deacon George, as I know him from the church, great guy, known him a long time. And just like to recognize his 15 years of service. I attended the economic development called, or was it the Northfield Business Administration? Okay, the Economic Development Commission, which there's a branch that's the Northfield Business Association. I just wanted to I know I always give Councilwoman Bucci kudos for this, but it's a really good program she started and got off the ground, and it seems a little magical, and there's a lot of enthusiasm there with the businesses, and I think that's going to be a great program. So congratulations to you on that. Our Pee-wee from FAN, our Pee-wee and JV won the Cape Atlantic Junior Football League Championship. So congratulations to them as well. Our varsity team came close. It was a tight game, but they didn't get it this year. But it would have been nice to have another three-way win, but just didn't happen. So also, I attended the fan board meeting. They had expressed a lot of gratitude for all the work we've done out there. Also gave me a little punch list of things that they would like to have done also in the future, which some of the things are I think are probably a safety issue and probably need to be addressed. So I'll be working on addressing those as well. And that's about it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Reese.
I would like to add to the last meeting's EMF report. This year didn't have numbers to me until this week. For the month of October, replayed into the city was 30. Replayed into Northfield respectively was 19 of those 30, with 11 people being transferred and 8 people refusing medical treatment once outside agencies coming in town. I've noted severe increase in the last couple of weeks of us leaving Northfield to go into Carroll Township and Pleasantville. And that's really leaving our residents without emergency medical services. And that should be a concern to us. I understand that here has an obligation to answer employee calls and stuff of that nature, and they're doing their best to provide a second ambulance to us, even though that wasn't really contracted previously. I'd also want to take a moment to thank Peace Hardware. They made a donation to the volunteer fire department today. Well, that's a very nice generous donation. The volunteer firefighters last month for fire awareness, so fire appreciation month. The volunteers went to Ace on a Saturday and spent quite a few hours there offering education for fire prevention stuff to all of these customers. And it just once again shows what a great job on volunteer fire. And it's something I want to say to the firefighters and lieutenants here, thank you for doing that. And thank you to Ace for recognizing what they did on their own time.
I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate Councilwoman-elect Renee Carfagno and thank the voters that voted for me. I personally didn't take anything last meeting because I wanted to make sure that it was official. I like to have things official before I make a decision, so I want to thank the voters in Northfield for trusting Renee and I to join into council next year. And that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Council President. I wanted to also congratulate Lieutenant Bettinger and Deacon George as well for their retirements. Wish them well in their future endeavors and best of health as they move forward. I attended the Northfield Community School board meeting last night. Nothing tremendous going on there. Of note, they did improve their health standards, and you can't find their updated health standards. I was concerned about that in the community, but they do have those published. You can find them on their school website. They did send emails out to all the parents in the community with those updated standards. Wanted to offer congratulations to since the last time we met, the mainland football team lost in the state semifinal. Apparently, there's a lot of Northfield residents who are members of that team. They had a couple of
30 seconds.
yeah, overall, congratulations. Season to them. Finally, in the area of shared services, I had conversations with the representatives from Galway County regarding zoning and housing. We are having conversations. I just was calling today. They were hoping to get a word back from them regarding.
Thank you. And yeah, I watched I was able to watch the mainland game on a feed. Pretty good that they're able to feed that through for a high school game.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I also wanted to send congratulations or appreciation to Northfield Mother's League. They, I know that prior to Thanksgiving, they reached out, they did their annual soup and cookies donation where they make soup and cookies, and they hand them out to the needy citizens, shut-ins, retired folks, people who maybe don't have them. So they did a great job this year.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bucci? Moving on, from finance and collections. I took a look at the compared year to year as far as what our collections are. And we are right in line. Actually, we're a little ahead of the prior year. Some things up, some things down, but as far as versus our budgeted amount, we're right there. 83% of the year down, 83% collected. So things are trending well in order to meet our responsibility. And I have nothing further. The amount was 25,280,415,707 is what's been collected. And that's all the taxes, all the sewers, all the fees. We'll move on to the work session. Open items. The stormwater, no update. We still are waiting on the responses from okay. Okay, and then on the next item, the sale of land, that's also pending some responses from some building. Who is it? Habitat.
Yeah.
I'm
A couple of
should have written that down. I have
nonprofits.
couple nonprofits on building additional affordable homes. The sign ordinance is has some more work. Okay, so we'll do that next session. Next year. And on the grants. Yeah,
Upgrade the playground. Excellent.
something new or, yeah. Next item being the addition of Juneteenth, which is on tonight's agenda. That's resolution 217. So it came up as part of last year's government workers contract negotiations and was added since it became a federal holiday. So what we're doing now is it's on the agenda tonight to make it part of the city holidays, so that it matches up with other with the other contracts. Since certain contracts will automatically get it based on if one negotiating unit gets it, then they automatically get it. So we wouldn't want to then not have the rest of the city all on the same page and have one department coming in to work on a day that is a holiday. So that's why that's on the agenda tonight, to recognize the federal holiday. Paul, did you want to have it?
No, I don't think so. I'll let the new council deal with that. Well,
Okay.
you know, I will say something briefly, and this is about the cannabis ordinance. And, you know, as you know, the voters came out and 57% voted pro and 43% no. But 67% of the voters didn't come out at all, which to me says, quite frankly, they don't care. So I look at it as like 85% yes and don't care, and 15% no. So I think it's really something, especially in a really tight budget year, that the next council may want to consider, because again, you're facing a tough budget cycle this time around. There's a lot of increased costs, and any little bit helps. And to have this revenue coming through town, I think would be a real help. And I know that a couple of business people, and it'd be also good for economic development. It would create jobs. But the 2% that Northfield would collect on the revenue, three businesses have expressed interest in developing a really upscale retail cannabis outlet. And, as the tourists come through in the summer, it'd be a way to capture some of those tourist dollars. I really don't think it would harm the city or have any negative effects any more than, having it right next door in Egg Harbor Township. The only difference would be Northfield would collect the revenue. So I think when you have 85% that say yes, or I don't care, it's something council should seriously consider. But again, that'll be up to y'all.
Thank you.
I figure if they care, they should have come out and voted. We did poll them. We said, hey, no, they may not, but they don't care. I mean, if they cared, they would come out and cast their vote. Well, no, I said 85% yes or don't care. I think that's accurate. If they didn't come out to vote for it, I don't think it's that important to them.
So I could say the opposite of me, once they 67% would be opposed.
I don't think so. Since 70% of the electorate in Northfield, when it was asked if they want it legal, voted yes, I think it's probably more towards a higher percentage yes and the lower percentage no. But I think, again, mostly people don't really care. And I think, quite frankly, when you see these establishments, if it comes to fruition, it'll be a big nothing. It really, it really won't, other than the revenue that Northfield will generate. And it'll be good for economic development. It will rent out stores, and there will be auxiliary businesses that will benefit from having it in town. But again, I won't be here for that.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, could you please refer to your agendas? Approval of the minutes, Councilman Notaro and Councilman Smith. Resolutions for a consent agenda. Is there any item anyone wish to have pulled? We're going to do consent for 213 through 219. 220 will already be pulled from the consent agenda. Okay, no one wants anything pulled, so Councilwoman Bucci, Councilman Utz for the consent agenda. Resolution 220, Councilman Leeds and Councilman Notaro. Ordinance 11, we are tabling. Ordinance 12, Councilman Smith, Councilwoman Bucci. Ordinance 13, Councilman Utz and Councilman Leeds. Payment of bills, and please note the amended amount. Councilman Smith and Councilman DeWeese. And meeting notices, Councilman DeWeese. Notices, yes.
Adjournment will be,
Usually.
At this time, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any topic, we ask that you please step forward, state your name and address for the record, and observe a 5-minute limit per speaker.
We do have members in Zoom. If anyone in Zoom wishes to speak, can you please let me know? 'No one in Zoom.
Okay, seeing none, the public session is now closed. May I have a motion to adjourn the work session?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
7:00. I don't have her number if you want to see if she can come over.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still texting.
Good evening. Welcome to the City of Northfield Council meeting for November 29th, 2022. This meeting has been properly advertised according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231 in the Press of Atlantic City on Saturday, January 8th, 2022. I have a flag salute led by Mayor Chow.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance in what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. Thank you. Please be seated.
Roll call, Mrs. Bucci. Mr. Deweese,
Here.
Mr. Leeds,
Here.
Mr. Notaro,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Utz,
Here.
Mr. Palestina,
Here,
Mayor Chow.
Here.
may I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to move with and dispense with the reading of the minutes of November 15th, 2022. They've been distributed to council and are on file in the municipal clerk's office.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Councilman. And ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I do want to apologize for not being at last meeting. During that night, I felt it was important to attend an event for the New Jersey Mayor's Association, which I serve as a member of the executive committee and represent not only Northfield, but as a member of the executive committee. So I do apologize for not being there. What I'm about to say is not to criticize anyone or those that were here that evening, but rather to clarify some points that were made that evening regarding an issue with a violation or supposedly a violation that the neighbor or the citizen thought was a citation. Mr. Utz said that a resident that received a violation of a car parked on the grass, and the resident, after receiving a citation, called our police chief, who told her that the mayor requested the citation. The residents called the mayor, who stated Councilman Leeds asked him to request the citation. I know when asked the mayor, and referring to Councilman Utz, to explain the incident that he knew didn't pass the smell test, but forwarded to the police without bothering to reach out to the resident that he knows very well. First of all, when I received the complaint or concern from Councilman Leeds, I immediately passed it on to Chief Newman. As many of you know, I've been warned several times in the past several years by not only our city solicitor, but also our labor council, that it is not my responsibility, nor should I interfere with any of the responsibilities and duties of the code enforcement agent. If I did, and if I continued that practice, the possibility that a grievance or a lawsuit could be issued to me. So that is one of the reasons why I did not go to the neighbor's house, nor did I know who this neighbor or who this person was. And let me just read the email that I received from Councilman Leeds. It's addressed to me, and it says, a resident has brought an ordinance violation to my attention and has asked me to have the matter addressed by the appropriate authority. The resident of 116 Dolphin Avenue appeared to be in violation of the code that is stated by parking a vehicle continuously on the grass. Would you please ask the chief of police to have an officer look into this ? It is my understanding this violation takes place at night and on weekends. nowhere in this email does it indicate to me nor imply from Councilman Leeds that he knew who this person was. Obviously, I didn't know because it didn't make any reference to the person, as Mr. Utz pointed out, I know. Okay, but even though I was told who it was, haven't I just explained to you, it would be very precarious on my part to go to this individual and talk to them because it may be construed that I am interfering with the responsibilities and duties of the appropriate authority. So I want to clarify that and also clarify the fact, as Chief Newman had pointed out that evening, that I did not ask Chief Newman to issue a citation. All that I did was forward this email that I received from Councilman Leeds to be dealt with appropriately by the appropriate authority. So I want to clarify a couple of those issues there that was presented. And even if I, as I said, knew that it was Mrs. Brennan, I would not have gone over there or made any special call or that fact. Several days later or the following week, I received several phone call messages from her husband, who I tried to attempt to reach out to find out what he wanted. And when I did finally reach out and got in contact with him, he explained his concerns, and I simply just said that, you know, this is what happened. I didn't know it was you, but I learned only most recently, well, I should say recently, but in about a year or two ago, that that is a city ordinance. I didn't know that before, that you are not allowed to park on your grass lawn. I was well aware of the situation, and I explained it to Mrs. Brennan or her husband about it. End of story. I hope it clarifies. It's not that I ignored it or that I issued or asked the chief to issue a citation. So I wanted to clarify, clarify that so that we know where I stand on that. I want to compliment also Councilwoman Bucci on that economic business community. I also attended that evening and was very informative. I'm happy to see that we have a group of business owners who are very much interested in the interests of our city, looking forward to trying to make things better. And most importantly, have better communications with not only city council, but other parties and authorities of the city itself. So I think things are looking better. And in all the years that I've served, this is one of the best times I've seen where a great effort to try to congeal and get all of the business community members together. So I know we have a lot more members or not more people out there, and then there's in businesses. So hopefully we can get some more, but it looks wonderful. I'm very, very, very happy. All of you received a letter from the Northfield Community School District regarding their plans to have a strategic committee, planning process committee. I have volunteered to be on that committee. So I just want to make a note that the first committee meeting in December, I will be attending, and that is a conflict with one of our city council meetings, so I will not be here. I want to also remind the residents that this Friday is our annual Christmas lighting at here at City Hall. We expect to have Santa Claus driven by our Northfield Volunteer Fire Company and Fire Department arriving here. What time was it? 7 o'clock tonight? 7 o'clock. So everyone is welcome. Also, I want to announce again that my mayor's annual holiday lighting event contest has been posted. So if you know of any homes as well as businesses who are interested, to contact City Hall to get an application so that we can move forward on that. And finally, I too want to congratulate, and I did send a letter on behalf of City Council and myself to the MRHS football coach, Chuck Smith, about the successful program that he had this year. And I don't know if any of you know that Coach Smith is a member of the Northfield community. As a matter of fact, he lives right across the street. So congratulations to him. And also I want to congratulate Deacon, I refer to Deacon George DeRosu of he's also a member of the St. Gianna's Church, and I work closely with him every Sunday for his many years, of 15 years serving as a crossing guard. I know it's tough being out there in the rain and snow and so forth, but he's done a terrific job. He has a terrific relationship with the children, and I will surely miss him as one of our dedicated guards. He's been, as I said, done an outstanding job. So congratulations on his retirement. And that's the end of my report, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the engineer's report. Ronnie?
Are they held to the same as a road? They're different.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any subject, please state your name and address for the record and observe a 5-minute limit per speaker.
If anyone in Zoom is wishing to speak, can you please let me know? Does not look like it.
Okay, seeing no one, the public session is now closed. On the resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certificate of availability of funds. The executive session of council will be held at the end of the meeting and we'll come back into public session and make comment for the record after the executive session has concluded. Any vote made on subjects discussed will be made in public. Any items wanting to be removed? May I have a motion to vote by consent agenda for 2000 or 213 through 219?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second?
Roll call?
Mrs. Bucci, Mr. Deweese,
Yes.
Mr. Leeds,
Yes.
Mr. Notaro,
Yes.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Utz,
Yes.
Council President Palestina,
Yes.
motion approved.
We have a motion to for ordinance 12-2022.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt resolution 12-2022.
Yep, I'm going to read. Ordinance 12-2022 is an ordinance amending the bond ordinance number 4-2019 adopted on March 5th, 2019 by the city of Northfield in the county of Atlantic, New Jersey to provide for the payment of the required down payment not previously appropriated in the original bond ordinance. This is the second reading, and there will be a public hearing after which the matter will be considered for final adoption. Since introduction, the full ordinance has been posted in the lobby of City Hall and on the city website. Copies have been available at no cost in the office of the municipal clerk to any member of the public who requested same. If approved, final publication will be on December 3rd, 2022, with the estoppel statement of 20 days.
Okay, at this time, we will open this ordinance to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone, we ask that you please come up, state your name and address for the record. And if anyone in Zoom wishes, please raise your hand.
That's it look like, I mean, we're good.
Okay. Seeing no one, the public session for ordinance 12 is now closed. May I have a roll call?
Roll call, Mrs. Bucci, Mr. Deweese,
Yes.
Mr. Leeds,
Yes.
Mr. Notaro,
Yes.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Utz.
Yes.
Mr. Palestina,
Yes.
motion carries.
And may I have a motion to introduce ordinance 13-2022?
I'd like to make the necessary motion to introduce ordinance 13-2022 by title only.
Second.
Ordinance 13 of 2022 is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 275 rental unit registration of the Code of the City of Northfield to impose inspection requirements for lead-based paints and repealing all ordinances hereto adopted, the provisions of which are inconsistent herewith. This is the first reading. There will be no public input. It will be published in the Press of Atlantic City on December 3rd. There will be a second reading and a public hearing on December 13th. The full ordinance has been posted in the lobby of City Hall and on the city website. Copies are available at no cost in the office of the municipal clerk between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday to any member of the public who requests same.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? This ordinance is to bring us in line with the rental unit and lead paint certifications that our ordinance were lacking. So it took some time going through them and we'll move forward with it. Roll call?
Mrs. Bucci? Mr. Deweese?
Yes.
Mr. Leeds?
Yes.
Mr. Notaro?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Utz?
Yes.
Mr. Palestina?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I may have a motion for the payment of the bills.
Make a motion to authorize payment of the bills in the amended amount of $939,289.32. Second.
Any discussion, questions? Roll call?
Mrs. Bucci? Yes. Mr. Deweese?
Yes.
Mr. Leeds?
Yes.
Mr. Notaro?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Etz?
Yes.
Mr. Palestina?
Yes. Meeting notices?
Next city council meeting is December 13th, 2022, 6 p.m. work session, regular session immediately following. City council is January 3rd, that's the reorg meeting at 6 p.m.
Okay, we will now be going into executive session for resolution 219-2022.
To those members who are on Zoom, when the executive session commences, I will be muting the audio and the video will be temporarily paused. Those in attendance in person would need to exit council chambers during the executive session. Council would resume the public session, including reactivating the audio and video and welcoming the in-person public as soon as the executive session has concluded. A public statement will be made for the record at that time. Resolution 219-2022 is a resolution providing for an executive session not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12B, 7 and 8, regarding matters relating to the attorney-client privilege and personnel matters. For the record, we are required to set forth as much information as possible as to the subject matter to be discussed, as well as provide for the public the amount of time they can expect to elapse before the non-public portion of the minutes can be disclosed. I will defer to Solicitor Facenda for further explanation.
Thank you, Shannon. As authorized by resolution 219-2022, council for the city of Northfield will enter into an executive session not open to the general public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. The subject matter to be discussed specifically is the status or the change of a part-time firefighter, Christopher Trench, to a full-time firefighter. That subject matter requires attorney-client privilege and confidential communications between this council and Labor Council. We will keep minutes of this executive session as required by law, which will be approved by council and made available for public inspection when required and permitted by law. At this time, is unknown when those minutes would be available for public inspection. We do anticipate possibly some official action after the executive session in connection with resolution 220-2022. We will remain in council chambers for this executive session.
Council President, do you want to stay here or my office, or you want to go there? I mean, we have a crowd here, so I don't know if you want, maybe more convenient for us to go meet in my office.
I think,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
yeah, we'll go to your office.
Can we go to our office? Because I'm not prepared to go to his office.
Okay, then we'll stay. yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not logged on.
Stay here.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
Oh,
Sorry.
For the minutes.
you can't
I
log on there?
I can, but it will take, well, I guess we're waiting for Nicole.
Nicole's here.
Oh, she's here. Oh,
We got the.
That's up
we-
up to you
all right,
guys
so
then.
Ask everyone if you could please step outside for the executive session. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Ready, Mike? Chris is ready.
Okay.
Waiting a minute. All right. As authorized by resolution 2022, the executive session conducted by the Northfield City Council has been concluded. It was an executive session not open to the general public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Issues discussed were the transition or the status of change in employment of part-time firefighter Christopher Chen to full-time firefighter. Minutes of the executive session were in fact kept and will be available for inspection when permitted by law. It's my understanding that the council will now consider resolution 2022.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve resolution 2022? I can't say it. 220-2022.
I'd like to make the necessary motion to adopt resolution 220-2022.
Second. You took my second.
Yeah, I
you
think
did.
that's okay.
Let's make up an easy one.
I'm getting you at the end.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bucci?
Yes.
Mr. Deweese?
Yes.
Mr. Leeds?
Yes.
Mr. Notaro?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Utz?
Yes.
Mr. Palestina?
Yes.
Motion carries for the adoption of resolution 220-2022.
May I have a motion to? Forgot to bring waiting there. May I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. All in favor?
I got you.
Aye.
Put me down for that one.
Like a ring.